Hello, esteemed guests. We've all heard the cliched question, is the glass half full or half empty? Today, I'd like to discuss with you a philosophy that says that I am happy to have this glass, let alone the water inside it. It's clean and healthy. To appreciate, let alone that you have anything. In ancient Greece and ancient Rome, philosophy was not like it is today. Whereas today it's a very academic practice, very concerned with the meaning of words and principles. It was also about how one should live one's life in ancient Greece. And they called this ethics. To give you a sense of the Stoic mindset, I'll share with you some thoughts from a few ancient Stoics. But among the goals of Stoicism was reducing one's suffering. And obviously, suffering, it's something that happens to you. Let's say you get into a car crash. That's not what you have control over. But what you do have control over is your mental response to it. So, suffering, the Stoics held, was in one's mind. And that if you could find a way to reduce your suffering, to spend less time wallowing in negative emotions and have less downtime, you could have a more purposeful, moral life. You could spend more time going and pursuing the things that you've set your mind to. So the Stoic philosopher Seneca said that pain is small if thought has added nothing to it. In thinking that pain is small, you will make it small. It is according to thought that we suffer. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most esteemed emperors in ancient Rome, and he was also a practicing Stoic. He wrote a diary to himself called Meditations. He wrote that if you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. And lastly, I'll quote from Epictetus, who said that sickness is an impediment to the body, but not to the will. Say this to yourself with regard to everything bad that happens to you. For you'll find it to be an impediment to something else, but not truly to yourself. So, this all sounds very well and good, but how do you actually practice something like this? How do you bring it to life? So I'd like to share a couple techniques that I read to get closer to this ideal. And in the lead up to this speech, I myself was nervous, as I told a couple people here, so I'm something of a hypocrite when it comes to Stoicism. Negative visualization. We all have things that we value in our lives, and if we lost those things, we would get upset, we'd feel shock, we'd grieve. And these might be people, these might be our health, our possessions, our relationships, our jobs. The Stoic would contemplate the loss of these valuables from his life. Note, this isn't worrying, this is sitting calmly, contemplating, and thinking about how you would feel and how to respond to the loss of these objects. What would your life be like? And actually, let's say it's someone that in your life that you would lose. Imagining losing them will make you more grateful for their presence. And you'll try to spend your time with them more productively, and you'll appreciate them more. The Stoic may then carry on his life as if the loss could happen at any moment, without constantly worrying about it. Instead of taking for granted that these things will always be around, he relishes the moments that he does have with these possessions or people. Another technique I'd like to discuss is occasional discomfort, as I call it. So compared to the grand sweep of human history, we have pretty cushy lives. We don't have to worry about going hungry or not having drinkable water. And even amidst all this comfort, we are occasionally irritated by a small matter, a small discomfort. You know, we go outside, it's a little bit hot, and we forget that 90% of the time the weather is amazing here. And so what if you could get yourself to appreciate the things that you already have, to actively crave the things that you have? In order to appreciate what we have, sometimes we have to actively lose it. We have to actively abandon it. So whereas with negative visualization, you would imagine losing it, here's something you actually deny yourself. So I don't mean you should sell everything you own or take an oath of poverty. But if you occasionally deprive yourself of something, you'll appreciate it more when it's around. Maybe you cut the air conditioning in your house one day a week, or you take the bus to work, or you eat oatmeal for breakfast. If you're truly dedicated, you could try this on a date. If your date's not okay with an oatmeal dinner followed by a bus ride across town, maybe she's not such a good fit for you in your new stoic lifestyle. So when you deprive yourself, you may find the loss tolerable and decide that that comfort wasn't actually good for you. That maybe you're spending money on something that didn't really make you happier, or you're eating oatmeal now instead of waffles for breakfast, and you're making yourself healthier. And you say, what, I can do this. I don't put that much value on those unhealthy or expensive activities. Psychology researchers have actually discovered that people become a little bit happier when they buy something. Let's say it's a new car. But over time, their happiness goes back to what it was before that. And I think these two techniques are a way of actually getting around that. That when you are presented with the loss of the items that you had, just either it's a temporary loss or imagining that you're losing them, you can come to crave and appreciate those things that you have. So you're not constantly seesawing up and down in your happiness because of your material possessions. If you'd like to read more about Stoicism, I recommend looking up the speeches of James Stockdale, who's a Medal of Honor awardee and former Navy admiral, who discussed how he drew on Stoicism to survive the torture and deprivation he faced in his 7 years as a prisoner in Vietnam. Thank you.